Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in a house where every day feels like a festival? A home filled with the laughter of children, the wisdom of elders, and the endless chatter of siblings. This is the story of one such family, a beautiful tapestry woven with threads of love, understanding, and the occasional inevitable tangle. Our story begins as the first rays of sunlight filter through the windows, painting the walls in hues of gold. The house stirs to life. In the courtyard, Father sips his morning tea, reading the newspaper, a serene smile on his face. Mother is in the prayer room, her gentle humming a familiar and comforting start to the day. Down the hallway, the sound of little feet pattering on the floor announces that the youngest members of the family are awake, their infectious energy already filling the air. In the kitchen, it's a scene of organized chaos. My wife, a true magician, orchestrates the morning breakfast. She moves with a grace that comes from years of practice, expertly flipping a dosa while simultaneously keeping an eye on the milk boiling over. My sister pops in, still sleepy-eyed, trying to sneak a piece of fruit before breakfast is served. My brother, ever the prankster, playfully messes up her hair. And their light-hearted bickering is just another part of our morning symphony. I walk in, and the aroma of coffee and spices instantly grounds me. I see my wife, a little tired but smiling, and I feel a surge of gratitude. Living in a joint family isn't always easy for her, but she handles it with such grace. I wrap my arms around her for a brief moment, a silent acknowledgement of everything she does. My mother joins us, offering a hand and a piece of advice, her years of experience a guiding light in our busy household. The breakfast table becomes the heart of our home, a place where stories are shared, plans are made, and the day truly begins. The children, perched between their grandparents, listen with wide eyes, soaking in the love that surrounds them. The morning rush soon gives way to the steady rhythm of daily life. The kids are off to school, my brother and sister to their work, and Father settles in his favorite armchair with a book. The house grows quieter, but it's a peaceful quiet, not an empty one. I see my wife meticulously managing the household, a complex dance of chores, meal planning, and budgeting. She navigates the needs of 3 different generations, a task that requires immense patience and skill. She's not just my wife. She's the anchor that keeps our family ship steady. Later, I see her sitting with my mother, listening intently as Mom shares a recipe or a story from her own youth. It's in these quiet moments that their bond strengthens, a beautiful blend of respect and affection. My father, a man of few words, communicates his love through actions. He'll quietly fix a leaky tap or help the kids with a tough homework problem. His presence, a calm and reassuring force. My siblings bring a different energy. My sister, with her modern outlook, often sparks lively debates at the dinner table, challenging old ideas and bringing fresh perspectives. My brother, with his endless jokes and easygoing nature, is the family's stress buster. He has a unique talent for diffusing any tension with a well-timed wisecrack. The children, meanwhile, are silent observers, learning invaluable life lessons just by being part of these interactions. They are learning about sharing, about respecting their elders, and about the importance of being there for one another. This house isn't just a building of bricks and mortar. It's a school of life where love is the main subject. But even in the most loving homes, clouds can gather. One evening, a simple misunderstanding casts a shadow over our family's harmony. I had promised my wife I'd pick up some special ingredients she needed for a dish she was planning to make for a family get-together. But a last-minute meeting at work made me completely forget. When I came home, tired and distracted, I found her looking disappointed. "You forgot, didn't you?" she asked, her voice quiet. Before I could explain, my mother overheard and, trying to help, said, "It's okay, dear. We can make something simpler." Men are often forgetful about these things. It was a simple comment, meant to be comforting, but in that moment, it felt like a dismissal of my wife's effort and my carelessness. She saw it as being brushed aside, her plans deemed unimportant. I saw the hurt flash in her eyes. She didn't say a word. She just turned and walked quietly to our room. The sudden silence was deafening. My brother and sister, who had been laughing just moments before, fell quiet. My father looked up from his book, a concerned frown on his face. The children, sensitive to the shift in mood, stopped their play and looked from one adult to another, their faces filled with confusion. The warmth that usually filled our home had been replaced by a cold, uncomfortable tension. The house, once bustling with life, now felt heavy with unspoken words. Each of us retreated into our own space, the silence amplifying the hurt. I found my wife by the window, staring out into the darkness. I tried to apologize, but the words felt clumsy and inadequate. She just shook her head, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. In another room, I could hear my mother talking to my father in hushed tones, probably replaying the conversation in her mind, realizing her words had unintentionally caused pain. I saw my sister trying to distract the kids with a game, but their little hearts were heavy. My youngest came to me, his eyes wide with worry. "Why is Mommy sad?" he asked, his innocent question piercing through my own frustration. How do you explain adult complexities to a child? How do you tell him that sometimes love gets tangled in miscommunication? I felt a deep ache in my chest. These were the moments that tested the very foundation of our family. Each of us, alone with our thoughts, was reflecting on the same thing. How did a small issue escalate so quickly? How do we find our way back to each other? The quiet ticking of the clock seemed to count the seconds of our separation, each tick a reminder of the distance that had grown between us. The next morning, the usual warmth was missing. Breakfast was a quiet affair. The weight of the previous night hung in the air. I knew we couldn't let this fester. After the kids left for school, I asked everyone to gather in the living room. It was time to talk. I started by looking at my wife and saying, "I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I forgot, and there's no excuse. Your efforts are never unimportant to me." Then I turned to my mother. "Mom, I know you were only trying to help, but it came across differently." My mother's eyes filled with tears. She went to my wife and took her hands. "My dear," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "I am so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. In my time, things were different, and sometimes my words don't keep up with my heart. You are the heart of this home." My wife, seeing the sincerity in her eyes, squeezed her hands and nodded, a silent acceptance of the apology. My father then spoke, his voice calm and steady. "We are a family," he said, "and families make mistakes. What matters is that we learn, we forgive, and we communicate. Honesty and respect are the pillars of this home." My sister and brother chimed in, sharing their own perspectives, reminding us that we were all on the same team. As we talked, really talked, the tension began to dissolve, replaced by a renewed sense of understanding and connection. The children would come home to a house where the air was clear again. That evening, the aroma of that special dish my wife had wanted to cook filled the house. I had made a special trip to the market during my lunch break. As we all sat down to eat, the laughter returned, louder and more joyful than before. My mother and wife were chatting like old friends. My father was sharing a funny story with the kids, and my brother was back to his usual antics. Looking around the table, at the faces of the people I love most in this world, my heart felt full. This is family. It's not about being perfect. It's about being there for each other through the sunny days and the stormy nights. It's about navigating misunderstandings with grace and resolving conflicts with love. It's about building a home where everyone feels seen, heard, and cherished. Our family, united and stronger than ever. Sharing a meal, sharing our lives. This is everything. This is home. Thank you for watching.